Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, be sure to like the video on your way in. Hit the thumbs up video button, y'all. Be sure to comment and subscribe. Okay. I hope that y'all saw my thumbnail. I did not upload it, so I can't show y'all, but I know y'all saw it when y'all clicked on the way in. And really, y'all, Candiace and Mia. Match made, okay? Candiace and Mia should have been friends this whole damn time. People were upset my last video because I said that Candiace showed her ass, okay? I think it's hilarious because I told y'all this entire time that I did not feel bad for Mia, okay? Even whenever Candiace was talking about her mama, I said I did not feel bad for Mia, okay? However, I still think that Candiace has, some housewives etiquette to learn. Um, and that's not saying that she can't be messy and she can't take shots. What I mean by that is you have to allow people to show their asses. And I think this episode showed us why Candiace and Mia should really be BFFs. So, what's up, Peyton James? She says, I can't wait to hear what you thought about how Candiace didn't have a tissue available for Mia. Okay, I noticed that. And then Sugar, hey, what's up? So, y'all, sometimes literally, KA, you cannot have an opinion nowadays. People, I don't understand. People kind of, if you don't get on here and validate somebody's opinion 110%, 150%, people really be feeling some type of way. And oftentimes I can see two sides of a story. I can see how Candiace be doing the most, okay? I can see how Mia does the most. And still not give a fuck that Candiace was talking about Mia's mom. So I'm just like, y'all, there's levels to this. So I really appreciate my subscribers where we be seeing each other and we often be on the same page because y'all know that it's often levels to this stuff. And now I feel like, the Real Housewives of Potomac family, we're all, we're not as split as we were before. So I posted on my community wall, okay, two things. Number one, I said Candiace and Mia should be BFFs. Number two, I said I definitely understand the colorist accusations after watching this episode, okay? So for a while now, especially with all the drama that happened on Basketball Wives a few years ago, people have been, pointing out colorist situations that they've seen on their TV screens. I've heard people say that with Gizelle for a while now. While I didn't doubt that she, had colorist ways, I really didn't put too much stock in it because I felt like that's a heavy label to put on somebody. But when I watched this episode and I saw the way that she came for Wendy, just her slight comments made me think, you know what? People really are not reaching when they say that you have different treatments for different people. Okay, the way she treats Ashley versus the way she treats Candiace versus the way she treats Wendy. So that's something else that I want to talk to y'all about this episode. Okay, so what's up, Kenya? What's up, KA, Elena, and Alicia, y'all? Let's go ahead and get into the review. So, y'all, this is episode 15. What we see is we're still at the dinner table, right? And y'all, it wasn't even just what Gizelle said to Wendy, y'all. I couldn't help but just listen to the slight comments that Gizelle continued to make throughout the episode. So I'm going to call those out as well. Now, y'all know my fave on the show is Karen Grandon, right? Everybody else on the show, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I like you. I don't like you. Like, it goes either way. That's how I feel about the girls on the show until it comes to Robin and Gizelle. Okay. Robin, Gizelle, I do not like either one of them. Oftentimes, people don't realize that a lot of the shit that goes on the show is because of Robin and Gizelle and them starting shit. They're never held accountable. So although this episode was mainly about like a lot of the shit that Candiace and Mia had going on, I definitely was still picking up on the slight just shit that Gizelle was saying. So we're going to talk about it, okay? So like I said, y'all, they're at the restaurant. Candiace comes back And Giselle, this is where I'm like, okay, this is odd. Giselle says, I feel the need to apologize to the restaurant before we leave. And then the camera pans out, all white people around the restaurant, okay? Why do you feel the need to apologize on Candiace's behalf for what went down in the restaurant? Meanwhile, you're not holding Ashley accountable because, like I said in my last video, Ashley did start that whole confrontation between her and Candiace. Ashley did call the B word first. Ashley did say bitch first. But because Candiace showed her ass, which she did, I ain't gonna lie, Candiace showed her ass, and I tell y'all that. Because Candiace showed her ass, you feel the need to apologize on Candiace's behalf. You need to apologize for Ashley as well, because it would have never went there if Ashley would have sat there and ate her food instead of asking Chris, what did you do to basically punish Candiace? So y'all, that's strike one for Gizelle. I think there's at least 3 strikes that we are going to get into. What's up, J-Dub? So yeah, there's 3 strikes that we are going to get into. Next, y'all, they end up leaving the restaurant. And one thing that I really like about this group and the way that they handle their conflict is like, 1 second, the girls can go crazy to where they're about to fight. The next second, the group can all get along, go crazy, and end up almost showing their peens on the bus, which was funny. Y'all, Chris's peen comes back into the topic of conversation. The people want to know, you got a brown peen or a pink peen? And he was like, hold on, y'all want to see it? So that was hilarious. He ended up not showing it. Candiace was not playing. You should have seen her face. She was, ooh, and then the camera froze on her. It was funny. Gizelle covers her face with her purse like she don't want to see Chris's peen. Gizelle, you want to see one, because I can tell by Giselle's behavior and the way that she treats the women on this show that it's been a minute since Gizelle has had some good peen in her life. So I think that she needs to see it, okay? Yes, J-Dub, Wendy's mouth was wide open. That was hilarious. And then not only does the whole peen conversation, it doesn't stop there. Gil starts talking about what he looks like whenever he's And I'm like, oh man, we don't want to hear what you're doing when you be on the blue pill, okay? G is a good time, but he's also a whole ass fool. So Miss Ashley, okay, or forehead, like Candiace be calling her. That's hilarious, okay? That's where I'm like, I'm with you, okay? When she was talking about Ashley's forehead, but then whatever she said, wide body, I was like, okay, but we going backwards. Let's continue to move forward. What's up, Romel? I hope you're doing well. But Gordon, thank you. Cause I keep calling him Gil. Y'all, Kenya, you caught that too. Gordon. Y'all know, okay? We friends at this point. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So Ashley, okay, with her wide forehead ass, she's sitting in the back of the bus and she's saying, and y'all want to talk about Michael? At least Michael knows how to behave himself whenever he goes out in public. And then they show a flashback of Michael on a boat. I think this was like season 1 or 2. And he's getting ready to take his pants off. You can see the man's boxers, okay? We done seen Michael in his boxers more than once because that picture came out when he was in the hotel room with that person, okay? With that person. So I'm like, Ashley, y'all know what I say every time I talk about the girl. Ashley, love-hate relationship. Love her when it comes to her messiness. I think she has a good balance. Hate her when she's talking about Michael because she has no common sense when it comes to her benefactor. She has no common sense at all. So I'm just like, girl, you might want to be quiet and not even talk about Michael. So all of the couples have a good time on the bus. I'm like, nice, this is a nice little kiki after the turn up. And then they end up going home, right? So they're back at the house. We see all the couples retreat to their room. Chris and Candiace are having a conversation. And this is where Chris was like, you're probably going to hate me, but Ashley isn't that bad. And y'all, I feel like Chris embodies the argument that I have whenever I try to talk about Candiace. I like Candiace. I tell y'all that all the time. I like Candiace. Candiace is never the only one at fault when it comes to her arguments. However, Candiace does a bad job of allowing the other person to take responsibility as well, because one person says boo and she's just like loses her shit. So I think that's what Chris tries to instill in Candiace. So he's telling her that, like, hey, it's not that bad. Candiace was like, you're right. I had my one day of acting an ass, and tomorrow we're not going to go back to this. I'm like, okay, good. I really need her to learn from this, okay? So, Robin and Giselle, they're in their rooms, okay, y'all? Ever since the last episode, they've been trying to get our attention, talking about this damn hotel room. Robin talking about her period. And I'm like, at this point, no shade, but Robin, I feel like your period has had its bags packed. Okay. Your period is ready to go out the door. So I'm like, why do you keep trying to bring this up? You keep trying to make a thing a thing. You keep trying to have a moment, just as Wendy said. Y'all tried to do it at the restaurant last week, and it was overshadowed by all the bullshit that was happening with Candiace and Ashley and Mia. So now this week, I guess since all that drama's over, y'all are trying to make it a point to talk bad about Wendy again. Hey, bestie. TR, love you, bestie. So proud of you. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Don't be weird. Why are you being weird to me? No, really. Thanks, T. So yeah, they're trying to have a whole ass moment. And then one thing that I thought is ridiculous, Robin's argument continues to be, there are men in this house. There are men in this house. And I'm like, Robin, your man would have been in this house if your relationship was real, if your relationship held any weight, okay? Gizelle would have had a man in her house if her man didn't live in her phone. So I'm like, girl, shut up. Talking about there are men in this house, like there's not multiple restrooms. Ashley, last episode, said that you could have used her bathroom. So I'm like, girl, if you and your not period don't shut the F up, I'm tired of it, okay? So they end up leaving the house. Skyla and Mia are helping them carry all their bags downstairs. They're being very polite. They're working up like the new girls do. Like I tell y'all that Giselle has this fake like sorority mentality about her when it comes to the show. They're checking on her. Oh, well, you can have our room. Mia's like, oh, well, if G was awake, then he would give you our room. They're like, no. Okay, Mia, they don't want your room because their entire intent is to make Wendy look bad. Robin herself knows that it's not that serious, as she says on the boat. But her intent is also to do whatever Giselle does because Giselle writes the script for them on the show. Robin is lame as fuck, and that's why I don't like her. Okay, give her the boot. Give her the boot, please. So anyway. I'm glad that Wendy ignored them. It was midnight. They left. Skyla was worried about their safety. She's like, are you sure? And it wasn't until this scene that I actually remembered, like, oh, Skyla was brought on the show via Robin. Like, are they really friends or not? So it's the next day, y'all. Mia. Let's talk about Mia walking around the house in lingerie. I thought that was weird that she was walking around the house in lingerie and there were other husbands there. Now, y'all, I know shit works two ways. I know that husbands have eyes that they can control. But personally, I would have felt weird to be walking around in a see-through ball gown. I told y'all I'm calling them see-through ball gowns because I'm telling y'all that's probably the type of attire that Mia wore when she claimed that she wasn't a stripper. She definitely was. I mean, and the thing was, at first I was like, is it a swimsuit? But then you could see it wasn't a bathing suit. And I could tell because the longer I looked at it, it had mesh cutouts and the whole thing was see-through and nobody was going swimming. So I was like, this is a little awkward. And I was like, you know what? That's why Candiace keeps coming for you, basically referring to you as a stripper and a hoe. So I just thought it was awkward. I think Mia, she's just different, okay? She has a different lifestyle than the rest of the women on the show. So Mia's complaining about the service. She's complaining about, not being in luxury. I'm like, you know what? That's fair. But whenever Candiace took y'all to that house, did y'all have people cleaning y'all's rooms? I don't know. There was a whole cottage for the other women. And lastly, the way I felt about it is I cannot wait until Mia takes these women on a trip because the way that Mia talks We need her to bring out the private jets like the women were doing on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I need her to bring out a private jet because I want to see the life of luxury. Like, I'm not mad if that's what me is used to. Shit, I ain't used to it. So I just want to see you provide that to the other women, right? So anyway, she's talking to Gordon. Y'all see, I said Gordon instead of Gil this time. She's talking to Gordon, and she just explains that she really doesn't have the words for Candiace, but if Candiace wants to have a conversation, then she's open to doing that. And at this point in time, y'all, I feel like Mia just don't want no smoke, okay? Mia doesn't want any smoke at all. Don't start no stuff, won't be no stuff. And I think she's learning that with Candiace. She's met the ra-ta-ta-ta Candiace, like Mia said, like Wendy says. So they end up FaceTiming Gizelle. And when I say they, I mean Ashley, because she's a part of this throuple, barely. So she FaceTimes Gizelle. Giselle's laying in the bed. And they're like, where are you at? They don't want to say where they are because they're probably at some 3-star regular ass person hotel when they could have just stayed their asses in the house. Hey, Princess. Princess says, hey, Necey, Robin, the only man you should be scared of, ain't here. And that's Grandpa Gremlin Michael. Miss Hey Arnold ass can go home, girl. Right, no. Robin should be afraid of Michael because that's the only one that might actually take her man. But okay. So Gizelle answers FaceTime and she says that they're somewhere 30 minutes away. We heard them speaking about the Marriotts. I'm like, y'all are so lame. Y'all could have just stayed in that nice house, shared a bathroom with Ashley, but y'all want to prove a point so bad that y'all gonna take y'all's asses to the Marriott 30 minutes away. Okay. So, like I told y'all, we're keeping strikes for Gizelle because I hate to have colorist arguments, but I have to say, I see where the accusations are coming from. So, strike one for me was when they were in the restaurant and she felt the need to apologize to the people in the restaurant, to the good old white folks in the restaurant for arguing. Really felt the need to apologize once Candiace turned up, but she didn't really feel the need to apologize whenever Ashley started it, right? Strike number two for me is whenever they're on FaceTime, Gizelle says, the host hasn't said shit to me, so I haven't said anything to the host. That's a lie. They showed the flashback of Wendy walking into their room and welcoming them for coming on the trip, even though they hadn't texted her back the whole time. So, yes, Wendy did. She did meet you with positive energy, so that was a lie. But that's not my strike. My strike number two for Gizelle is whenever Wendy came over and calmly explained to her, I did speak to you. She says, oh, she's angry. Wendy's angry. I was like, So Wendy walks away and she says, I'm not angry. But to me, I was like, why are you so quick to place the word angry on Wendy when she's been on some GVO shit? Wendy's been trying to be on some good vibes only stuff. Thank you so much, Kimante. What's up? Um, so yeah, I don't understand. Gizelle is so quick to position people in a bad lighting. She manipulates the situation. And I feel like people often overlook Gizelle manipulating situations because people are like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Oh my gosh, she hardly does anything because she's not the one hooping and hollering as loud as Candiace. And this is what I want Candiace to learn. Okay. The women on the show are positioned to kind of just follow after Gizelle and somewhat follow after Karen as well, which isn't a bad thing. But Karen is more of like a mentor, she's nice to everybody type of thing. Whereas Gizelle wants to be a mean girl, big sis. So the same way that people imagine Gizelle in this show, Candiace could never get that. So that's why I need you, Candiace. When people start with you, allow them the room to show their asses. Y'all give me a hot second because I need to plug my charger up. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So, like I said, the point I was making is that Candiace needs to allow people to show their asses, because the same way that Gizelle does shit, people won't be as forgiving to her as they are to Gizelle. So, strike two was her calling Wendy angry. Next, Mia announces to all of the women that she wants to talk if Candiace wants to talk. So I'm like, okay, this is good. Maybe this stuff will fizzle out and it's not that serious. Let me read some of these comments as I go. Okay. So Tamisha says, I'm so glad Wendy got her together. Yep, here we go with that narrative. Kay says they're colorists. They can accept the light-skinned women with no issue, but beef with the brown-skinned girls over bullshit. Literally, say it again. Chantel, Giselle's a colorist. Even her tagline this season was giving me colorist vibes. Ooh, I didn't think about that. She says something about staying in the shade. I cannot. Princess says Gizmo and Mia Lies was cute, but Wendy aggressive. Say, that's what I'm talking about, okay? It's acceptable. And Gizelle thinks that she is the morale police amongst the girls. So if Candiace does something, it's like, no, I wanted to talk to you about that. Do y'all remember, okay, last episode, whenever Candiace ran up to Big Sis Giselle and Robin, Gizelle felt the need to tell Candiace what she felt was wrong, but you didn't feel the need to have a conversation with Mia about being messy at the music video shooting. So, Candiace, I know you like Gizelle, but they won't treat you the same way as they treated Ashley, or even the same way that they treat Gizelle whenever she starts shit. So it's like, I just need you to realize that. And thank you, Kenya, for giving me the full quote. Giselle's tagline this season is the key to this pretty face is staying in the shade. All right. So, y'all, next, Ray arrives. You know, Ray just feels like a sweet grandpa amongst the group. Everybody was so happy to see him. Everybody was like, oh, hi, Ray. And it was just funny because whenever Ray was in the kitchen talking to the women, he says, Giselle, what happened to your foot? She says, I was fighting with your wife. And he says, Karen, how'd you miss the neck? I was like, yeah, that's the type of energy I need my man to be on. Be on that cute, petty stuff. Like, we don't really fool with her. But, you know, just joke about it. Let's kiki about it. Now, this is another time where I'm like, can't stand Gizelle. And I feel like stuff goes very much overlooked, okay? Even though the episode seemed to be mostly about Candiace and Mia, Wendy kept being very peaceful. Gizelle just kept picking, and I'm the one that's gonna see Gizelle for all her shit. So Robin and Gizelle end up coming back to the house. Wendy walks into the kitchen and she greets everyone. She greets everyone. And she says, nice to have you here. That's a greeting to everyone, but more specifically to the people who left in the middle of the night. To me, I took that as a greeting to both Robin and Gizelle. So then Wendy goes and stands next to Candiace on the kitchen counter, or standing next to the kitchen counter, and they start having a conversation. Gizelle is looking at Wendy up and down, and she says in her confessional, she didn't greet me at all, but that's okay because I didn't want to talk to her either. That's the big sis bullshit mentality I'm talking about, okay? Girl, why does she think that Wendy had to come up to her and speak to her individually? The same way that she thought that if Wendy didn't want to beef anymore, that Wendy would reach out to her after Gizelle was the one who started the rumor, or she didn't start the rumors. Let me correct myself. Gizelle was the one who brought the rumors about Eddie to the show. So why is it that you think that Wendy is owed some sort of first move for y'all to be cool when you were the one who started the shit? It's like, it's the audacity for me. I don't understand. So anyway, now the couples get ready to go to the boat. Everybody's having a kiki, a good time. And downstairs, Robin and Skylar are having a conversation. In this specific moment, this is probably when I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot they were friends. Skylar is explaining how she feels torn because she's friends with Wendy, but she's also friends with Robin. And to me, I'm just like, girl, it's okay. You ain't really friends with Robin like that. You know, everybody has to come on the show in some sort of way. And Robin just happened to be your way on the show. So you're kind of feeling like, I probably should be cool with Robin even when she's wrong. So I know that's kind of awkward. Robin, this is whenever she's not with Giselle and she starts to sound like she might have a little bit of sense when she makes this one comment. She says to Skylar, she's not upset with Wendy. She just feels like it was improper planning, but it wasn't directed towards anyone. I find it hilarious that the person who don't have enough space in their home to host the women, the person whose best friend has a home under construction and didn't have a restroom for everyone to use, so you had something outside of a damn construction event in your damn driveway, has something to say about the way that something's supposed to be ran. It's comical. That's why I'm like, who is putting Gizelle and Robin on this imaginary pedestal? Who's doing it? Okay. Neither one of y'all have hosting abilities or skills. Y'all couldn't even go rent out a damn Razoo's patio to host the girls for y'all podcast launch party. But you want to talk about how Wendy should be hosting somebody when she's actually taking y'all on a trip. Okay, goodbye. So anyway, when I say Robin almost sounded like she had a little bit of sense, she said it's not proper planning, but it's not directed towards anyone. In other words, you know it's not that serious for you and Giselle to be villainizing Wendy like she's doing something to y'all, and you know that. But you only have this ounce of common sense because Giselle isn't around, and you know that Giselle's assignment, much like Kenya from Real Housewives of Potomac, is to cause havoc and be a miserable pretty bitch. So if Giselle was around, you know the assignment. You know it's to be a pretty mean girl, just like Wendy said. Is JW right? Giselle thinks it's her show. Monique says, if Robin said, if I was hosting the trip one more time, everyone be eating crackers. Say it again. Like somebody in the comments, okay? Somebody has to know. Has Robin ever hosted a trip? Y'all tell me. Okay, maybe she has in 6 seasons, but I don't remember it ever. Okay. Candiace has hosted something. Karen's for sure hosted something, but Robin, I don't think you've hosted anything. Okay. But I'm just saying, y'all could have done much better than whatever the hell y'all did with that drive-by, birthday party, baby shower podcast event. And then you want to tell everybody else how to run their shit. No, everyone's saying no. Robin has never hosted an event. That's what everybody's saying. Okay. I do have space to be wrong. So if somebody's watching this on playback and y'all say she did, I'm gonna go back, watch the episode, and compare Robin's quality of event to all of the events that she always talks about. So oh, Shayna says she hosted a trip and missed it. mm. Okay, that doesn't count though. When you host a trip that's held, okay, never mind. Never mind. We'll let it count. Okay, we'll let it count. So, anyway, a scholar says she thinks that a conversation needs to be had. Robin has absolutely no interest because she feels like everything is going to turn into a debate with Wendy. And this is where I get irritated again because Shayna, thank you for the super chat. She says she has and missed the flight. Okay. Okay. Well, this is my thing. With Robin and Giselle, they know they're wrong. When they know they're wrong, they don't want to argue. So the assignment is to make Wendy look like the aggressive brown-skinned woman while they sit there and act so reasonably and so shady. So, girl, she says, I just feel like every time I talk to Wendy, it's going to turn into some sort of a debate. All things Irene. She says, does an open house count? Nah. Open house don't count. So stop trying to make it seem like Wendy's just going to be aggressive because she's outsmarting you. Wendy is telling you why you're wrong. You're not up for that challenge. So you rather just make it seem like she's going to be aggressive and debate you. Girl, go to sleep, okay? So a scholar says she feels torn while they're down there having that conversation. Y'all, this episode, I actually liked Mia, okay? I really liked Mia when she first came on the show. but she kept flip-flopping. I felt like Mia had so much potential, so like many grounds to be great on the show, but then she kept flip-flopping, and I was like, I don't really fool with her at all. This episode, I definitely liked her playing her part. So she is downstairs and she overhears Robin and Skylar having a conversation. So she comes back upstairs and she says, Wendy, I heard that you're not the same person that you were a year ago. Wendy says, where'd you hear that? And she says, well, I heard it downstairs from Robin. So they come back upstairs, Robin and Skylar. And of course, the room is awkward because you can always tell whenever you've left a room and somebody's been talking about you. And they address what Robin says. And Robin says, y'all happy to see me? And Skylar says, y'all happy to see me? Mia says, well, Wendy might not be. So then Ashley ends up telling Robin, she just repeated like you said, right? Jay says, I don't dislike Mia. She understands her assignment. Beautiful antagonist. Yeah, she's okay. She's okay, actually. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. So anyway, they repeat what Robin supposedly said. And Robin said, I never said that. They showed the flashback where Robin says, we clicked a year ago. I really liked her at first, and now I'm thinking that I was wrong. Not exactly the same thing, but it's along the same guys, right? So that was hilarious. Everybody was like, Mia, you got to do better, because that's not what everybody's saying. You got to do better, right? So Robin says in front of everybody, I just feel like there's nothing for me to discuss because I don't want to debate. Okay, you don't want to debate, or you don't want to be wrong in front of everybody. Tell me which one it is. So Wendy says, okay, I'll say this. And Wendy she just handled them so effortlessly, so calm. And this is where I get irritated, where they start calling her aggressive. And strike 3 is coming up, okay? And I'm going to repeat to y'all what all the strikes were again, in case anybody wasn't following. So Wendy says, while you and Gizelle may have your issues with me, I welcome conversation. So then this is where Gizelle starts talking and saying, well, you didn't have a bedroom for us. And when we left in the middle of the night, nobody checked on us. Nobody asked us if we were okay. Gizelle, you're not some delicate ass sunflower, okay? You didn't have your days in the sun while you talking about sitting in the shade. You're not a delicate ass sunflower. You decided to leave in the middle of the night, put yourself in harm's way instead of sharing a bathroom with Ashley like she had offered. Okay? So I'm like, why should anybody have to check on you for number one, that reason? And for number two, when a scholar texted you and Robin in the group chat and says, let me know when y'all make it. So why should everybody respond and say, oh my gosh, are you okay? Oh my gosh, you're okay. I think that you were just upset because, much like Wendy said, you were looking for a moment. Y'all have been looking for a moment since y'all got there. It just so happened that Candiace and her drama overshadowed any intent that y'all had of bringing negativity on Wendy's trip. So y'all, she says no one checked in. And then everybody else basically deads her point and says, well, you were in a group text. Why should I have to check in? Then you know what they do whenever they can't win a fight and they know that they're wrong? Gizelle says, I don't know where this conversation is going. I don't know why we're having this conversation. Oh, now you don't know. Okay, your intent was to start conversation to make Wendy look bad the whole time you were there. But now all of a sudden you don't know where the conversation is going. Okay, Gizelle. So Robin says, I also didn't want to be in a house using the restroom where men are peeing all over the floor as men here. Now, part of me is like, you know what? The only person who I feel like might have been peeing all over the floor was Gordon with his drunk ass, because he was so drunk. But other than that, I don't think any of the men were peeing all over the floor. And for number two, I already told y'all that Robin and Gizelle could have shared Ashley's personal bathroom. So Robin's full of shit, okay? You should have had your man on the trip, and then you wouldn't be acting like you were so afraid of being in the presence of other men. Like, shut up, okay? This period argument, men in the house. I'm like, shut up. So anyway, this is strike number 3 for me, y'all. Whenever Gizelle and Robin start losing their argument, I told y'all they got to make the brown-skinned intelligent woman look all big and bad. So that's whenever Gizelle says, we're done. We have nothing else to talk about. Wendy says, oh, we've been good. Giselle cannot take Wendy's subtle clapbacks. So because they're so subtle, she has to make her look bad. So she ends up saying, oh, well, Wendy, you're always going to be combative and aggressive. She uses words like aggressive, angry, debates, combative. Why all these words when Wendy has been respectful to you the entire time? Wendy has been calm. The only time she lit your ass up was whenever you crossed the line talking about her husband. That's all fair game, okay? So why are you using these words? But then Wendy's response was that you're always going to be a mean girl and a bully. And she hit that one on the head. The only word she was missing was colorist. Because literally, y'all, up until this point, I have been wanting to avoid that conversation. But as I watched this episode, so many moments were literally just screaming at me. And I was like, if I come on here and I do a review and I do not talk to y'all about how things that I've been seeing on social media align with what I've seen in this episode, I would be doing a disservice. So we're going to call it out, okay? So that doesn't come to any type of resolution. Mia says, so did y'all resolve it? Is everything good? And this is where Wendy says, Mia, if you want to resolve shit so bad, how about you talk to Candiace? And I was like, yes, Wendy. I was kind of annoyed at first between the connection that I was seeing with Wendy and Mia. And I thought it was because Wendy was babying Mia. I thought that everybody was like, oh, Mia, you can't talk about her mom. I don't feel bad for the things that Candiace said about Mia's mom. However, I'll say it again. Candiace, you're doing yourself a disservice, okay? So whenever I saw Wendy say to Mia, if you want to, resolve shit so bad, talk to Candiace, I was like, okay, good. Yo, KA, you killing me. She says, what if Juan comes? That has to be the funniest shit that Robin has said, as well as Karen on that bus saying that, Robin just looks so unhappy. Juan should just come and just show up, even if it's for a little bit. He should just come and show up, right? But where's Juan? I'm so glad that Juan Dixon is not here right now. That's all we were missing on that boat. So now, y'all, Candiace and Mia start to have a conversation. Wendy says, you want to resolve something so bad, go talk to Candiace. And y'all, I'm so glad that they showed this conversation between Candiace and Mia, because in all actuality, these two should be best friends. I said in my first review when I was talking about this whole situation that whenever Candiace said to Mia, the elephant in the room is that you need therapy, I was shocked. My jaw hit the damn floor, not because of what she said, but because the pot was calling the kettle black. You both need therapy. You both have mommy issues. Y'all should be friends for sure. So I'm glad that they had this conversation. Mia had a very mature apology. She says that she never wants to, be responsible for hurting somebody's feelings or bringing negativity onto them. And I just hope that she stands by that. I think that she will stand by that as it pertains to Candiace, because I think at this point in time, she's learned that she don't want that smoke with Candiace. So that just is what it is, right? So Mia apologizes. Candiace said that she was triggered because she works really hard. She just didn't want to be disrespected. So I don't even think that Candiace cared that she was asking about Chris. Now that Candiace says that, I honestly think that Candiace should have cared that Mia was asking about Chris, and Candiace should have cared that the ops was asking about Chris, because if it were me, everybody would have got lit the fuck up, Mia, Giselle, and Robin. But I guess the only thing Candiace cared about was her calling her project low budget. So on the flip side of things, Candiace just says she needs respect, but she apologizes to Mia because she said that she didn't know about Mia's mom. Y'all, I don't think she knew about Mia's mom the first time, which is why I said it wasn't that serious. Every time after that, I think Candiace knew there was something going on, very much something. There was something that she didn't know about Mia's mom, which is why people were always trying to get her to stop talking whenever she kept saying your mama. But at that point, Candiace just didn't care. Candiace has, no self-control whenever she starts to argue. So I guess that's just something that may happen if you try to come for her. So that's something I really just want her to unlearn, or not unlearn. Something I need her to learn is you should light the girls up. You should curse them out. but you need to learn when to stop so that way you won't look like the bad guy. So next, y'all, J Dub said, "Come on, Necey, we friends." Candiace knew she said it too much. I do think Candiace knew, but not the first time. Literally, the first time Candiace said, "Yo, mama," I don't think she knew, which is why I was like, it's not that damn serious. Okay. So Candiace apologizes. Mia ends up telling the story about her mom, how she went to prison, her parents died, and she couldn't go to the funeral. And you can tell that a lot of the women think Mia's full of shit because as Mia's crying, telling this story of how her mom couldn't go to her grandmother's funeral, Giselle. Giselle is like, well, usually they let you out for the funeral of a parent. And that's when Mia says, well, she didn't want to go because she didn't want anyone to see her in shackles. So I was kind of like, damn, interesting. All right. So in the confessional, Candiace ends up saying that she really appreciated Mia telling her about what happened with her mom, because she said that she can definitely understand having stuff with your mom. And, this just made me so happy. I think it was a really good episode, y'all. We can't forget the last little bit because it's going to be drama next week, but it made me happy to see that Candiace and Mia could come to a resolve and nobody else chimed in. I wish that they would have had this conversation without the rest of the group, but it honestly wasn't that serious. They're one and the same. I think Mia has learned her lesson with Candiace. She's going to continue to be messy as hell, just not with Candiace because she don't want that smoke. So now, y'all, they end up leaving, right? They're on the bus. And G is laughing at Ashley in the back of the bus, asleep with her mouth open. This is another situation where I'm just like, who cares? Ashley is like, I was about to say single mom, y'all. Because the way Ashley talks about her kids, you would think that Ashley was a single mother. But anyway, Ashley said, I'm a mom to a newborn and, I'm sleeping. I don't get a lot of sleep. So just let me sleep. So Ashley was just very annoyed that Gordon was trying to make fun of her. Yes, J-Dub. Gordon does not act his age. Gordon acts like a kid. But at the same time, I was like, Ashley, if you so damn sleepy, go to sleep. Stop arguing back and forth with Gordon. Gordon, as a grown man, should not have been picking on her. It was very elementary of him. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer in you have to, the only thing you can control is yourself. And that's what I feel. That's what I believe in when I talk about Candiace. And that's what I feel like Ashley should have done in this situation. Gordon is ignorant as hell. Gordon is going to continue to be childish. He's an attention seeker, just like his wife. So in the situation to where you were missing sleep, you probably should have just went back to sleep. Lyric's mom says Ashley put 20 on 10. Kenya says Ashley was being a Karen. J-Dub says G was not acting his age. Yes, J. Antoinette says G was kind of funny. Ashley was tripping. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Like, I thought it was funny. So I was like, if you so tired, like, just go to sleep. But I also get at the same time where it's like, damn, Gordon, like, shut up. But go to sleep. Come on. Let's see. Just Call Me Bond says, Ashley toting those kids around everywhere and continuously bringing up the kids is a great setup for full custody when she wants to file for divorce. Look at you. You smart. 10 steps ahead. Let's see. G is an old fool. Ashley wants to make an issue with G to take the spotlight off of Michael. I would love for the show to start requiring these wives to bring their husbands on a trip because it's just not as fun. And I'm sure that a lot of shit would go down if Michael came back, okay? I'm sure more stuff will go down if Juan was in the mix and if Gizelle had a man. Who knows? But next week seems like it'll be good, y'all. Not reviewing Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Don't really feel like it, okay? But I told y'all that I was going to talk to y'all about Brittany Murphy. So look for that review. We will probably talk about Brittany Murphy on tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm trying to decide if I want to talk about that documentary in a live or if I want to talk about it in a pre-recorded video. So y'all comment below and let me know, y'all. be sure to like the video up, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And y'all make sure to bookmark my birthday, because I told y'all we friends at this point, so y'all should actually know my birthday. My birthday is 11/11. So we on the countdown and I'm still not drinking alcohol. So before we talk about Brittany Murphy this week, y'all go ahead and watch the documentary on HBO Max, okay? But like I said, y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.